So 2026 F1 predictions, here we are. As we did last year, and it went pretty good, you know, it was so funny to react to my predictions I did last year. We are here again, 2 days before, I think, will be published this video, before the Australian Grand Prix, after the test, after all the tests, because it's important, was important for this to be as accurate as possible. So this video will be divided in Drivers' Championship 4s and then the Constructors' Championship after that. So we will start with a P22 on the grid, and for me will be Lance Stroll. I have them all here. I did it in school. I was bored. It was Italian lesson. I didn't want to listen. By the way, P22, yes, Lance Stroll, because I think Aston Martin, as we saw in the test, won't be that good. Will be so bad actually, not because of the aerodynamics of the car, but for the Honda engine that feels very underpowered compared to the other cars. So I think Aston Martin will be very bad, and Lance Stroll, you know, we know Stroll isn't that good in the last years. Last place for him. P21, we have a new comeback in F1, and I'm very excited that he's back, but unfortunately won't be that good. Not because of him, but here as well, because of the car. We are talking about Valtteri Bottas in the Cadillac. Yes, I think Cadillac won't be that good as well. They have Ferrari engine that I don't think will be that bad, so won't be a problem of the engine, but problem of the car. You know, first ever here in Formula 1. They are not like Audi that are ex-Sauber, alright? So it's a brand new team, brand new people in it. So they have to understand a lot of things, in particular in the first part of the season, so they will pay that a lot. Will be hard to score points for them probably, as well as Aston Martin, so I put him in P21, yes, behind Sergio Perez. But before Sergio Perez, we have in P20, I'm so sad about it, we have Fernando Alonso driving again the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Nothing really to say it, same as last Stroll. The car will be very shit probably, to be completely honest. So unfortunately Fernando will be, yes, a little bit better than Stroll, but probably not even scoring points for the majority of the part of the season. So, you know, it will be very hard for him to score any points this season probably. And yeah, I think he will rage a lot in the team rages, as we know very well in the last years. P19 for Sergio Perez. Yeah, again a Cadillac, so it's Aston Cadillac, that I think will be the last team, so I'm spoiling a bit the team standings, but you can understand basically them also from the Drivers' Championship. So basically Sergio Perez I think will be better than Valtteri Bottas. We understood that the problem of the second Red Bull seat wasn't really of Sergio Perez, but of that second seat and of the car that was as well very pointed on Max Verstappen style. And so for other guys, for other drivers, not at the level of Max, but talking of Perez again, I think will be better than Valtteri Bottas, will overperform probably the car as well compared to Valtteri surely. I don't expect much from Bottas. P18, and here we start. Really, you know, it's very hard from here to like the P10, P8, P9 is very hard to guess. They're so close in my opinion, but I put Arvid Lindblad, a new driver on the grid, driving the Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. Arvid Lindblad that, yeah, he did quite well in the formulas. In Formula 2 did not too bad. Formula 3 as well, he did good, you know, but I think Racing Bulls won't be that good for Arvid in particular to really perform and to score more than a P18 overall in the standings. Pay a lot in the first part of the season, of experience obviously, compared to his teammate, and so, you know, will be hard then to catch up to him. He will score a few points still, I'm pretty sure about this. You know, I think the mid teams will be pretty close to them, so I'm sure that he will score some points. Hopefully for him, it will pay experience for the first part of the season, and then it will be hard to recover to his teammate. P17, Alexander Albon driving the Williams. Yes, I put Williams this low, and so Albon as well, because, you know, they did not perform really well in the test. They are overweight and etc. They will solve this surely, but, you know, it starts this week that you're watching this video. the Australian Grand Prix, so the first round, so the point starts to count, and if you have to fix the problems and etc., you will carry these into the middle part of the season. And so maybe for the middle part of the season they will perform much better, but the other teams, they will have a big gap, maybe won't be that easy to recover to them. P16, Liam Lawson. Put Liam Lawson, obviously more experience than Arvid Lindblad, so I expect him to be better than him, in particular in the first races, but overall in the season more consistent. Liam is not a bad driver, actually, not that talented or etc., but he's a solid driver. I think that for a team like VCAR, he's a really solid driver, he's a very good driver for that team, not for the top teams, but for mid teams that wants to score some points and etc., he's not too bad as driver, too dirty on the track, if I can say that, but it's funny to watch him. Actually, yeah. P15, El Matador, Carlos Sainz. I'm pretty sad to see Carlos in this place. Hopefully it will be much better, because, you know, as a Ferrari fan, I watched Carlos this year and it was one of my favorite drivers, surely. Pretty funny, you know, as we see sometimes on Netflix as well. I don't know if you're watching Drive to Survive. I have to start, like I started only the first episode, so I don't know, I watched just for it, but if you want a video on Drive to Survive, I don't know, I can maybe do it. Anyway, Carlos Sainz, again, this for the car. Same here as well. As I said, for Alexander Albon will be better than Albon. I'm pretty confident in saying this. He finished behind Alex in the last season, but the second part of the season of Carlos compared to Albon was, wow, you know, was so spectacular to watch as well, 2 podiums. So I'm very confident that Carlos Sainz will carry on Williams in the fight for maybe a 6th, 7th place. Wasn't on purpose, in the constructor standings, but we will see that later in the team standings. P14, we have Esteban Ocon driving the beautiful Haas Formula 1 team. What a livery that is, by the way. I really love that. Anyway, Esteban will struggle a lot compared to Oliver Burman, that I put him, but much higher than him, much higher. Bit of points probably of differences, you know, we saw in the second part of the last year. Wow, was so good Burman, you know, compared to Ocon, he did quite good, so I'm confident that Burman will be the first driver of us Formula 1 team, and Esteban will struggle quite a lot to keep up the pace. So this is new talent of F1 that hopefully one day we'll see him in the Ferrari, hopefully winning a championship as well, but won't be that easy in the Ferrari. P13, Franco Colapinto, Alpine. Above Esteban Ocon. That seems a bit strange to see, but as we see the last part of last season, Franco did good actually compared to Gasly, almost beating him in some races, so I'm confident about Franco Colapinto. Alpine seems a good car, and I think Franco won't perform even that bad, still losing out of his teammate, but he's a very good teammate, Pierre Gasly, but will still be able to be consistent, bringing lots of points at home. He needs to crash a little bit less if he wants to stay at Alpine and to not cause Briatore to just killing him. But okay, P12, I've put Gabriel Bortoleto, as I see here. Wow, the Audi as well will be there. I'm very excited for Audi actually, Audi, whatever it is. Very excited, the project is good, the project started not too bad, but we will talk that later on in the team standings. Very good driver, Gabriel Bortoleto. He needed to adapt last season, a little bit too many mistakes. In particular in Brazil, we remember the double mistake that he did in both sprint and the Grand Prix, but you know, it was his first year in Formula 1 and still impressed a lot, beating a lot of times actually Hülkenberg, that finished it ahead obviously, but he's a very experienced driver. So P11, and here we start. Getting close to the top 10, Nico Hülkenberg, as someone wants to call, just ahead of his teammates. I think the gap will be very close. I won't be impressed at all if Gabi will be ahead of Hülkenberg. You know, they will be very close in points. Hülkenberg, in my opinion, will be a little bit above, just a couple of points, again for the experience and etc. The very solid driver, you know, brings lots of points at home when it matters, he performs when it matters, under pressure and etc. We saw with the podium as well, you know, very good driver, very talented driver as well. Unfortunately couldn't really catch all the opportunities in his career. Jumping into the top 10, first driver in the top 10, ladies and gentlemen, Oliver Burman. I'm very happy to say this. hopefully I won't be disappointed because he's one of my favorite drivers surely on the grid. And yeah, I see a lot of potential in this guy. We saw that potential with the Ferrari when he drove in Saudi Arabia. We saw last year beating Esteban Ocon. Talented driver and surely a future world champion. And I think will almost destroy his teammate Esteban Ocon. Now he has a very good opportunity to show who he really is. He already shown the last season, but now he has to do that step to really destroy, not even beat, destroy Esteban Ocon, and I think he will do. I'm very confident about him. P9, ladies and gentlemen, Isaac Ajar, yes, not P8, P9. It's good to put him in Red Bull, and I think in the first half of the season around will not even be that bad compared to Max Verstappen, but I think with the future upgrades that Red Bull will do to them car in the second half of the season, Ajar will struggle much more. Every race he will struggle more with the new updates that will be more obviously pointed to the Verstappen style, and so in the first part of the season will be a very good driver, solid driver for Red Bull, sorry. In the second part of the season, will struggle much more, and we will see, I think, again, a Red Bull driver that struggles against Max Verstappen, obviously. P8, ladies and gentlemen, oh my god, Pierre Gasly. It's wow to see him here, you know, these are my predictions. I predict and I see him in P8 above a Red Bull driver, just behind the top teams. I will not spoiler, but yeah, I see him here. Very solid driver, very talented driver. Leading the Alpine Formula 1 team. He will overperform the car surely, even if the group of the midfield will be very close in my opinion. He will win the mid-team fight actually this year, I think. P7, ladies and gentlemen, again we have a 7-time world champion. Yes, I'm talking about Lewis Hamilton. I don't know if I see him here or not. I just predict this, then I don't know what will happen, obviously. Obviously, let me know also your predictions in the comments. I'm really curious to see your predictions down below. In particular, I want to see them at the end of the season when we will react to this video. But in P7, yes, Lewis Hamilton won't be that good in my opinion. In particular, him not maybe really the car. We saw last year him struggling a lot. He's not even liking the new cars, so I don't expect much from him. I'm gonna be completely honest. So yeah, he will be destroyed again by Charles Leclerc. Maybe not as last year, completely honest, but almost, you know, he will be beaten by a lot by Charles Leclerc, I think. Yeah. P6, we have Max Verstappen. I think would be a huge mistake put him here in P6. I'm taking all the responsibility for these guys. I see in P6, I don't see Red Bull that good. He can fight for some wins, surely, not really for the championship, my opinion. Hopefully when I see this video, I will say, what are you talking about? He fought for the championship, because I want to see him fighting for the championship. In particular, obviously, Leclerc, but, you know, probably not even. He will do what he can with the car, but it won't be easy, because Red Bull will pay a little bit of pace compared to the other three teams, in particular McLaren and Mercedes, in my opinion. Because in P5, I put Charles Leclerc, my favorite driver. I see him here because the car will be... Ferrari won't be as good as to fight for the championship, surely to fight, in my opinion, for some races, for some race wins and etc. Nothing really more of it. And so Charles will do as much as he can, again, same as I said with Verstappen, actually. I expected him to move to Aston Martin before the start of the test. Now I don't really see him moving from Ferrari. P4, and here we arrive to this will be a very big mistake probably as well, as I will be watching this video back. Because in P4, I put Lando Norris in P4, the reigning world champion in P4. Yes, guys, I see him P4. Behind Oscar, yeah, I see him behind Oscar. I don't know, Oscar was really good in 2025 last year. He had an impressive first 15 races of the season, then he completely lost the direction, and at the end Lando did a better job in the overall year. In my opinion, Piastri got sabotaged in Monza, and after that was hard to recover mentally of that team order. I just think that because it really impressed me in the first 15 races, in particular in the middle part of the last season. Oh my god, how good he was. So I expect to see him back here with more experience and to do a better job compared to Lando, surely. Maybe to win the championship. but we will see that. In P3, we have Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Yes, we have Kimi, one of my favorite drivers here as well. Surely, very, very excited for him to have finally a good car. You know, Kimi hopefully will fight for a championship. In my opinion, will not, or will fight maybe in the first part, then it will lose out in some points. I don't see him really fighting for a championship, okay? Maybe the next year. You know, just his second year in Formula 1. I expect him to improve a lot, to win some races, score some podiums, lots of podiums. I expect much from him, and I expect to beat George Russell in lots of races actually, but also a bit of lack of experience compared to his teammate and etc. will cause some mistakes that will cost him the fight for the championship. And now we arrive, ladies and gentlemen, with the sun that is flashing me, disappointing to me. The world champion of 2026. We have George Russell, the easiest name I could say, I said it, and he's okay like that. With Piastri, I already talked about him, so I expect much from him to beat his teammate as well. Talking about Russell, what we can say, one of the most underrated, if not the most underrated driver on the grid right now. He's a cry boy, so cry less and drive more and you will be world champion in 2026. I'm sure of it. He has a lot of experience in Formula 1, and yeah, he finally has a chance probably to fight for a championship. I see him world champion because with the experience he has, with the speed he has, with the car he will have, won't be easy to beat him. These were my drivers' predictions, but now let's jump very quickly to the team's predictions, starting from the last year. Obviously, we have Aston Martin. I already explained this. The engine, shit. The aerodynamic will be good. Is good probably because his engine new is one. So, but yeah, the Honda engines will be wow, very very bad. So I don't expect much from them. Cadillac in P10, just a little bit above the Aston Martin because the engine will be Ferrari and will be not too bad actually, you know. The aerodynamic probably will be, in this case, the killing part of the car. Brand new team, as I said before, so they have to be consistent, they have to understand how to do race weekends and etc. So they won't be able to be that good, but it's okay like that with them. It's not okay with Aston Martin, for example. P9, I see Williams, I already explained this, overweight and will be hard to recover, as in the first part of the season the other teams will score more points than them and etc. will be hard then, yeah, to recover in the second part of the season. P8 for Racing Bulls, in my opinion, just as we said in the driver standings, you know, just reflecting obviously also the driver standings. This is it, Racing Bulls. Red Bull won't be that good, as I said, and so also Racing Bulls won't be that good at the same time. Audi in P7. I expect Audi to be very good actually. They showed us some really cool stuffs in Bahrain in particular, so I'm very excited for Audi. I want them to be good. Honestly, one of my favorite teams probably on the grid this year, and I'm really excited for them. I think they will do a very good season, as will be the fourth season of Audi in Formula 1. Surely they come from Sauber, so they are not from zero like Cadillac, so it will be easy, but they come still from Sauber, so, you know, not the best of the best. P6, this will be very close for the top 5, but P6 I see as Formula 1 team. Very close to Alpine, that is P5. I think the Mercedes engine will just overperform on the Ferrari's one, and so Alpine will be ahead probably for it. P4, and here we arrive to the top teams. We have Red Bull Racing, new engine basically, that is not new, but a bit it is. For the Red Bull powertrains together to do the engine is not easy at first, won't be that bad actually at all, but a little bit worse than the Ferrari and the Mercedes one, in my opinion, so yeah. P4, but that can improve, surely, for the 2027. P3, I see Ferrari, as I spoiled basically before. I don't expect to fight for the championship, still to be better than last year, and to fight for some wins. So, has a lot of podiums in my opinion, but yeah, they won't fight for a championship in my opinion, just for some races, so we'll take it. You know, it's a lot of years that I'm supporting Ferrari, so this year is one of the others. Obviously, as I said before as well, P1 for Mercedes, P2 for McLaren. Who voices from the paddock, Mercedes seems the best, and not by a few tenths, you know, maybe 2, 3, 4 tenths in Australia seems like. I think McLaren and Ferrari in particular at first will be very close, then McLaren will be still ahead of Ferrari for all the season, in my opinion, because McLaren needs to lose a little bit of weight. So that's why maybe in the first part Ferrari will be close to McLaren, maybe, but at the end of the season, I don't think there will be, they will be still close probably, but still McLaren ahead, I see, but Mercedes world champion. So these were my predictions of 2026 season. Let me know your down below in the comments. We will react to this video by the end of the year. So I will be really excited to see my predictions, if they were correct or they weren't correct. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, it has been a pleasure. Cheers.